What's up, anime fans? Soul here, bringing you my first must-watch anime of 2016, of course for the winter season, and we're only a few episodes in, but it's been great so far. There's so many series to be hyped about this winter. I may have some new favorites as the season goes on, but for now, these are definitely the ones you should check out. I've also been really interested in as to what you guys are watching this season as well, so I've teamed up with Anime Amino, this amazing anime app, to get more interactive with you guys so we can talk about our favorite anime. I'm sure a ton of you already follow me, but if not, make sure to download Anime Amino. The links are in the description, and we'll talk about that more later in the video, but for right now, let's get into it. Coming in at number 1, Musaigen no Phantom World. Most of you have probably already seen my recent video about the best anime girl of 2016. If not, you should check it out, but she is definitely my Kawakami. From Kyoto Animation's Musaigen no Phantom World, her character design and overall unique impression reminds me so much of one of my favorite anime girls, Sento Azuzu from Amagi Brilliant Park, a series also done by Kyoto Animation. This was the anime I was most looking forward to this season, and honestly, I expected it to stay under the radar, sort of like Amagi did. But after my limboing in the first episode, it's safe to say the hype around Musaigen no Phantom World has blown up and left a huge impact on the anime community. Now this is easily one of the most beautiful looking anime of the season. Kazumi Ikeda is doing a fantastic job as the animation director and character designer. The action scenes are stunning. But as for the story so far, the series is very off balance. There's a lot of comedy and amazing action, but sometimes it tries to be serious and I'm not sure it works out. I think the biggest drawback so far is that the main character, Haruhiko, is uninteresting. I was really hoping for some romance between Mai and the MC, but Mai is this beautiful, badass main heroine with an exciting personality while the main character is kind of boring. They basically go on a date and he doesn't so much as smile. I would be losing my mind if I was next to Mai. I'm really hoping as the series goes on, the MC becomes more interesting and adds to the story, because right now Mai is single-handedly carrying the show with how amazing she is. Even if they just focus on her like they did in episode 3, that'll make me happy. You can stream the entire series free in HD at crunchyroll.com/soul. The English name is Myriad Colors Phantom World. Go check out this anime and enjoy the epic limboing. Kyo Annie always finds a way.僕だけがいない街, also known as Erased, may just be one of the greatest series of 2016. The story follows this manga artist, also working as a delivery pizza man, Satoru, who is kind of a loner, but I also believe he takes some sort of interest in the girl he's working with. We find out very quickly Satoru possesses this unique ability called Revival, which allows him to go back in time seemingly only a few minutes or seconds before something bad happens, and he prevents it from happening. However, he's 29 years old when the anime begins, but after a certain person is killed, he's sent back not a few minutes, but 18 years ago to 1988 when he was 11 years old, giving him the opportunity to prevent this kidnapping incident in his past that ended in the death of a classmate who was a very interesting girl. We're not too far into the season, and I was unsure if the series would take place in his childhood, but it looks like it may, which is exactly what I was hoping for. This is a really cool anime. The opening song by Asian Kung Fu Generation is amazing. I'm sure you've seen me post it on Twitter, and it's being animated by one of my other favorite studios, A1 Pictures, so that's pretty sweet. I can't recommend this anime enough. Everybody is loving it already. Now this third series is a comedy I've been looking forward to for quite some time, probably since fall of last year when I first started hearing about it, and it's weirder than I was expecting, but totally in a good way. The Gashikashi may be a little difficult to explain, but yet another aspiring mangaka named Kokonatsu, who they call Coconuts, is the main character. Kokonatsu only desires to be a manga artist, so there's a bit of conflict with his father who wants him to take over the family candy shop instead. But competition for the best girl of winter 2016, Hotaru Shidare, shows up and tries to convince Kokonatsu's father to join her candy company. Hotaru looks exactly like the girl Kokonatsu's drawing in his manga, and he clearly gets a little crush on her, but for the most part, all of the characters are just a little insane to say the least. Dagashi stores in Japan are really something from back in the day. Dagashi were these very low quality snacks and candies kids could buy for cheap with their allowances, and the snacks would come with cheap toys and games. Over time, as the economy developed in Japan, kids got more money and would buy snacks at supermarkets instead. But I love the concept. I love how this anime takes place in the countryside, where these shops would actually be, and Hotaru explaining different ways to sell kids candy is pretty interesting, but definitely strange at the same time. Hotaru is like obsessed with candy, and another girl, Saya, likes Kokonatsu, and it's basically just strange jokes about candy. I can't explain it. Last episode, Hotaru spills candy all over her chest and is like trying to figure out different ways to eat it without spilling it. I don't even know, just go check it out.
佐藤一馬さん、ようこそ死後の世界へ。短い人生でしたが、あなたは死んだのです。
If you thought they were trying to take over the internet with Brestia's Blue String from Don Machi, How to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, well, I can promise you the new series, KonoSuba Sekai ni Shukufuku wo, also known as KonoSuba, is definitely trying to do the same thing with a different goddess, and without the string, pretty much without anything.
実は天国ってのはね、あなたたちが想像しているような素敵なところではないの。テレビもなければ漫画やゲームもない。そもそも肉体がないんだから。 エッチ方だってできないし。
Sato Kazuma, a hikikomori shut-in obsessed with anime and games, sadly decides to leave his room one day, something you should never do because you just might die for no reason, and that's exactly what happens. Upon death, Sato is greeted by the goddess Aqua, responsible for guiding young souls who die in Japan to a new world. Before transported to a new fantasy world, Sato is allowed to bring one magical item with him, and of course, what does he choose? The goddess. Aqua and Sato set out on a new adventure in this comedy fantasy anime. I'm not very far, but it's been pretty enjoyable, and I like the chemistry between our two main characters. Aqua is completely ridiculous, but she's the least of Sato's troubles because he continues to run into problem girls wanting to join their newly formed guild. Darkness is by far my favorite. I mean, how can you not love a blonde with those Shiraishi style red crosshair clips? Still waiting on Yamada-kun season 2, but I wasn't expecting her to be insane and a masochist, though that only makes her 1,000 times better because she just gets funnier and funnier as it goes on. Watch until the 3rd episode for some hilarious moments. It might not be as awesome as Don Machi, but it's definitely worth a try.
なんという鬼畜の所業。友
達。
Now, I wasn't going to mention Fairy Tail Zero at all because I usually reserve these videos for new anime, and Fairy Tail has been running since like 2009, but I was so surprised by all the work they put into Fairy Tail Zero that I just have to talk about it. An amazing new intro, a new outro, tons of new content that wasn't even included in the manga.
ここはあんたみたいな子がいていい場所じゃないのよ。学校楽しそうだったね。
Fairy Tail Zero is the very depressing backstory of the first guildmaster Mavis and her first meeting with the black maid Zerif. She was treated terribly by her guild as a child, and with the first episode, I felt that emotion come across very well in the anime, which I wasn't expecting at all because this was so well done in the manga. Hiro Mashima wrote this, and it's a very important backstory, so I'm really happy to see it being adapted properly. Honestly, the first episode of Zero has me excited for the rest, and I hope they continue to add in more content that wasn't in the manga. If you're a Fairy Tail fan, you definitely have to watch this because it's not filler or anything, it's the story of Mavis and how Fairy Tail came to be originally. And if you're an anime only, this will be pretty important later on with all of the Mavis and Zerif stuff that happens.
686年、この日、運命は動き出す。これはフェアリーテールが生まれるまでの物語。
So those are my top 5, and I definitely have some more series to recommend. But first, I want to hear from you guys what your favorite anime from winter 2016 are. I will be posting a poll on Anime Amino so the community can go vote for their favorites. All you have to do is download the app. The iOS and Android download links are in the description, along with the link to my profile. So follow me there and go vote for your favorite anime of winter 2016. Anime Amino is a pretty cool social networking app like Instagram and Twitter, but it's specifically for anime fans. So I post a lot of stuff about new anime in Japan if you want to go follow me and check it out. I'll also be announcing the winter top anime results in an upcoming video, and I'm even planning to collaborate with them on some giveaways for you guys, so stay tuned for that. As for the other series you guys should check out, Koyomimonogatari would definitely have made my list, but I'm still not all the way caught up on the Monogatari series because I'm watching it with some friends. I'm super hyped for the Kizumonogatari movie though, one of the greatest series of all time. You have to check it out. Hai to Gensou no Grimgar is another fantasy about this group of people trapped in a new world trying to survive, and it's actually a very dark anime. They have to brutally kill and just work to make a living, but they really don't even know what they're doing. I think it's going to end up being pretty good if you like very realistic and serious anime. Now, I'm not a huge fan of sports anime, but Prince of Stride, animated by the legendary Madhouse, has my attention. It's basically an anime about parkour with just some sick animation and an interesting concept. I'd like to see where it goes from here, so I may keep watching. Finally, Dimension W is the last series I'm checking out. Stereo Die Foundation, one of my favorite Japanese bands, is performing the opening song, and the main character drives a badass Toyota 2000 GT, which is enough for me to give it a try. From what I've seen so far, it's an action science fiction series with an interesting main character who seems to be some sort of rogue in a future with unlimited energy sources. Well guys, those are my recommendations for the winter season. Tell me your top 5 in the comments, and are you watching any of these series? Also make sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Anime Amino, and of course subscribe if you haven't. Thank you guys so much for watching. Arigato. Ja ne.